The other creatures seem frozen in shock as the fluffy white-tailed cat pummels the thing with its paw. The creature's tensils between to swap widely, but Thomas is a white blur. The other things begin to scrum over each other to help the fellow creatures until they become a mass of dark, rotting tentacles and separated with glimpses of white fur. Sarah grabs Jake's arm and starts to sprint in the opposite direction. At first, the creatures don't seem to notice, but a quick glance behind shows that at least a few of them have turned away from the chaos caused by Thomas. Sarah's legs are already burning after a long day of marching. A white streak zips past Sarah and Jake, and he hears Thomas yell, "Now!" Without stopping, Sarah begins to imagine a dark, log cave. The cave of the lost comes to mind, and Quinn's quacking ducklight, and how terrified they had been in the children's laughter and footsteps. It was nothing compared to now. Sarah can feel that all the creatures are at their heels, even though they will move silently. She imagines the entrance of the cave, weathered rocks and gray-green headland, the cool air just beyond the mouth promising a long, safe darkness. As he holds this image in her head, she feels the ground begin to rumble slightly, and then more violently. There before her, rushing out of the ground as if summoned, the cave entrance, just as he imagined. If the creatures weren't right behind them, she would stop to marvel at the phenomenon that just took place. Instead, she follows Thomas as he darts into the darkness. They're running blind now, Sarah hoping none of them trip or smack their heads in the enveloping darkness. "We need a cave in," Thomas shouts, his voice echoing. "Imagine the tunnel behind us collapsing. Hurry, they're coming." Even though she can't actually see anything, she visualizes the pathway, the footsteps like thunder shaking the walls, cracking forms and split wide as the weight of the ground above forces the rock to give way. She imagines each step sending powerful reverberation behind them, and immediately hears the rumbling caused by the step increasing. Stone breaks and shatter like gunshots, and then the tunnel behind them collapses. Sarah slows to a walk and then stops completely, her chest heavy as she tries to catch her breath. "That was exciting. Let's do it again," Jake says behind her. "I'd rather not," Sarah says. Sarah starts to run again, but slower this time. "We can't stop. They're even faster in the dark," Thomas said in front of them. "The collapse will only stall them for a while, and we have a long way to go. Keep moving." "I wish we had some light," she says, and just then she heard the sounds of cracking. Then she sees a warm yellow glow before them that grows until it almost hurt her eyes. "I love this place," Jake calls her, and the cracking as she eyes adjusts, Sarah sees they run right into a flock of dust and brightly glowing bills. They waddle around the tunnel floor, seeming happy as they can be. Sarah can't help but laugh off the adoringness, while the dust nears Thomas' tail, and he growls, "Let's keep moving." They continue down the tunnel at a steady pace, the dust with glowing bills going their best to waddle along, and then flapping over the trio and light the way ahead. The rosy light coming from the dust comforts Sarah just as Quinn's flashlight did at the cave of the lost. Sarah hopes Quinn is okay, whatever she is. They continue for a long time, what seemed like days to Sarah. A tunnel twists and turns, sometimes sloping up or down. Sarah asks where they're going, but Thomas says they should trust the tunnel to take them where they need to be. Jake seems oblivious to the dangers or strangeness, which is good, Sarah thinks. Only occasionally does he ask her if she thinks Odie is okay. She even asks Thomas if he knows where the dog is, but Thomas doesn't know. The duck accident that started as a rhetorical cracking has become the most obnoxious sound ever. Sometimes Sarah looks behind them and thinks she can see the writing along the creatures following, but they never come into the light. Finally, they see a different kind of light illuminating the tunnel wall. Daylight. Sarah breaks into a sprint and leaps under the glorious day, shooting her sensitive eyes. The snare smells of grass and other green things. When she can see again, Sarah realizes that she is standing in the forest clearing. A swift stream bubbles around the edge, flanked by the tallest trees she had ever seen. Before her was a large wooden houses with cloud grass in the windows and a ladder pole spinning lazily in the back. "It's good to be home," Thomas says as he bounds across the grass towards the front door. The dogs mew about the entrance into the cave. Their panic quacking strikes Sarah as a warning. She pushes the thought out of her mind. She trusts Thomas. Sarah takes Jake's hand and begins to walk towards the door. She doesn't seem to see the sign hanging behind the lap next to the door that reads, Potter's Mill.